In Karnataka, the whole issue of acid attack came into focus when Shruti, a college student, was attacked by acid in 1995. In 1999, Hasina was attacked by her former boss. Human Rights Law Network played a very important role in close association with the campaign and struggle against acid attacks on women when the case came to the Karnataka High Court.
The acid attack case was in the trial court, and it was the accused was acquitted. Accused was given 5 years imprisonment, and the case, both the state government as well as the accused went on appeal to the High Court, and from 1999 to 2008 or something, it was in the High Court without case being moved there. Then Hasina, along with the CISO organization, approached Human Rights Law Network, and then we went to the High Court, filed an application making Hasina to be impleted there, and then we again filed one more application to move for the compensation, which was before the court, and we got the compensation order for Hasina in that.
It was in 2009 that Hasina's High Court verdict came. That was a milestone, and that is when HRLN played a very important role. It was a very important judgment in the sense that for the first time it held the state responsible, saying that ultimately the buck will stop with them, that they have to take a proactive role in terms of, one, compensation for the victims, two, health. Whenever there is a health crisis, then you have to, the government has to bear the charges. And also a committee should be formed at the state level, which will basically look into the whole issue of this whole thing, and make necessary structural changes which will basically help acid victims. So that was a very important thing, and from there it was very helpful for us to take it forward, because that was a positive sign from the and it provided guidelines to the government, and no more the government could throw the ball to another court.
Campaign and Struggle Against Acid Attacks on Women filed a PIL in the Karnataka High Court with the help of Human Rights Law Network, which was aimed to look at the major issues like the lack of a gendered law on acid attacks on women and steps to provide relief and rehabilitation to the survivors of these attacks.
That was a landmark decision by the High Court, in which state government was made responsible to implement the schemes for the acid victims. Schemes relating to the rehabilitation of the acid victims were done by this PIL.
It was during the PIL that the state government was directed to one, increase the compensation for the victims. Two, that the health system has to, the health bills, whatever the bills, has to be paid by the government.
Forced and illegal evictions are a common sight in Indian metropolitan cities. Millions are pushed into homelessness and destitution, blatantly violating the right to adequate housing. The Gujarat unit of Human Rights Law Network has made successful interventions in the existing legislation on housing on behalf of slum dwellers and has obtained a series of orders from Gujarat High Court for their resettlement and rehabilitation. In Salat Nagar, Ahmedabad, slum cluster case, Human Rights Law Network appeared on behalf of the slum dwellers protesting the eviction orders.
हम जो बैठे हैं सलाट नगर में बैठे हैं, जो अंबिका मिल नंबर 1 के सामने की झोपड़पट्टी है, करीब यहाँ 240 झोपड़े हैं। ये रोज कमाकर रोज खाने वाले डेली वेजेस गरीब लोग हैं। इसमें 80% मुस्लिम और 20% हिंदू लोग रहते हैं और बहुत प्यार मोहब्बत से रहते हैं। जब इसको बाजू में अंबिका मिले उधर अप्रैल पार्क बनाने का फैसला किया गुजरात सरकार ने, और ये बाजू कांकरिया एक तालाब है बड़ा, उससे लेक कांकरिया बनाने का वो लोगों ने डिसाइड किया, और बाजू में हमारे चीफ मिनिस्टर मोदी साहब का मत विस्तार है, इससे टच होकर ये सबको देखते हुए ये झोपड़पट्टी हटाने का फैसला किया। यहाँ कोई शानदार मल्टीप्लेक्स कोई बिल्डिंग बने, या कोई व्यापारी को दिया जाए, इनको हटाया जाए। तो इनको एक नोटिस इशू किया आज से करीब 14 साल पहले कि आप 3 दिन में खाली कर दीजिए। अब ये लोग डर के मारे ढूंढ रहे थे पनाह, तो इसराइल भाई नाम का आदमी वो ढूंढते ढूंढते जन संघर्ष मंच के पास आया और आने के बाद कहा कि भाई कैसे भी करके बचाइए, ये बच्चों को लेके कहां जाएंगे। उसके बाद में मुकुल सिन्हा जो आज की तारीख में सीनियर एडवोकेट है, उन्होंने और HS अय्यर एडवोकेट, इन्होंने ये डिसाइड किया कि मोहन बुंदेल आप जाइए और वहां बिल्कुल गहराई में तपास कीजिए कि क्या है। यहां आके देखा तो ये लोग तड़प रहे थे कि आखिर ये बस्ती का होगा क्या। मैंने सारी रिपोर्ट तपास करके हमारे साथियों को दी। उसके बाद ये नक्की किया कि सबसे पहले गुजरात सरकार और कॉरपोरेशन के सामने ये बच्चे जो छोटे छोटे जो आने वाला भारत के भविष्य कहलाते हैं, उनको लेके एक रैली निकाला। उसके बाद जो कुछ भी कानूनी प्रक्रिया करनी थी वो गुजरात हाईकोर्ट में एक PIL रखी गई।
We approached the Gujarat High Court and Justice KG Balakrishna was the Chief Justice. He passed a status quo order and since then the status quo continued for quite a number of years.
After a series of incidents, all the hutments in Salat Nagar were rebuilt once again in 2004. It was during the year of 2005 the corporation once again issued notices for demolition of hutments in Salat Nagar. The Human Rights Law Network again intervened in the matter. After the court stay order, the Gujarat government has come out with a development plan under which it has proposed to build 360 flats for the rehabilitation of the slum dwellers of Salat Nagar.
That was in 2005 when the proceedings before Nanavati commissions were going on. While we were in the proceeding itself, we came to know that the bulldozers have arrived to demolish the hutments. We, as an exceptional case, we requested Justice Nanavati to pass stay order. Though it was not within his jurisdiction, but he, as a special case, he requested the municipal commissioner to halt the demolition, and accordingly it was halted. And within 2 days we approached the High Court and once again we obtained stay order. So after that stay order, now the government has framed regulations for rehabilitation of the slum dwellers by amending the Gujarat Town Planning Act. Under the newly framed regulations, the slum dwellers where institute development plan has been contemplated. So accordingly here around 360 flats will be built and all these slum dwellers will be rehabilitated under the new scheme. The no objection certificate has already been given by the corporation. So this is our one of the greatest victory.
सबसे बड़ा धन्यवाद तो हम HRL का करते हैं कि उन्होंने मुकुल सिन्हा जैसे और अय्यर साहब जैसे आदमी को इसकी मदद में भेजा और उन लोगों ने मदद की तो ऐसे की कि जैसे एक अपने ऊपर ये जुल्म हो रहा है, एक फैमिली की तरह मदद की कि आज ये 15 साल हो गए जब से सलाट नगर की उंगली पकड़ी और पूरी समुंदर में से नाव गहराई में से निकाल कर डूबती हुई इतनी जबरदस्त किनारे पे लाए। मैं तो इनको बहुत बहुत सलाम और झुपड़े वालों के तरफ से शुक्रिया कहता हूं।
In the Konkan region of Maharashtra, a vast majority, especially the local fishing community, has been engaged in excavating sand manually from the riverbeds without using any machine or instrument. It has been a hereditary business and a source of livelihood for many for years. Sand dredgers across this region exercised this right till 2010 with permit licenses without much trouble. Manual sand dredging was not causing any damage to the local ecology and environment, and helping in replenishing sand to facilitate the commercial use of the same. But after 2010, the government of Maharashtra came out with a new policy under which the permit system was terminated and tender system was brought in force to regularize sand excavation with a view to curb sand mafia.
कि ये सदियों से हमारा रेती व्यवसाय है, जो हम बूढ़ी मार के रेती का उत्खनन करके रेती का वितरण करते हैं। परंतु 2004 में सरकार का ये था कि भाई ये नीलाम से ही रेती निकालना चाहिए। 2004 तक नीलाम का प्रक्रिया चालू था, परंतु उसी टाइम हमने बैरिस्टर AR अंतुले का साथ लिया और ये जो खाड़ी नीलाम में जा रहा था उसको परमिट में ले आया। 2004 से परमिट यहाँ खाड़ी में शुरू हुआ तो आज तक 2010 तक चालू था, परंतु बीच में कोई आदमी ने याचिका दाखिल कर दिया हाईकोर्ट में कि भाई ड्रेजर वालों को परमिट नहीं मिलना चाहिए, ऐसा करके उन्होंने याचिका दाखिल किया। परंतु उसका नतीजा ये हुआ 25/10/2010 को